Secrets of alchemical creation and mystical upgrading DNA. Ancient sacred songs and chants have been and are transmitted as musical frequencies and patterns of information wisdom within as auditory symbols of ancient memory. There is a weaving together in an alchemical method composed of words and symbols, the melody, timing, rhythm, and within and a pattern of sequences, tones, and repetitions that have another layer of information not directly noticeable unless you are awakened to this communication as transmissions of memory points of awakening stimulus. Like in esoterica, the magic of the ancient sacred sound of music is hidden in plain sight and able to affect the listener simply by their presence. What are the effects of listening to this sacred ancient sound and music? While some people are changed dramatically by the sounds, others are guided more subtly in their inspiration. Often shifts occur not in large spikes that we're drawn to because they're more noticeable, but more often in smaller adjustments that attune the system over time. Upgrading our DNA. It is noted by the researcher Stephen Coles that musical listening regulates human microRNA expression, which is the overriding responses above genetic responses of the governing system of epigenetics with emotional synchronization. Here's how to consider what epigenetics is in a metaphor using music. Your genes are the sheet music, and how your body reads those genes, that is, your body acting like a musician, making those notes its own. This is even more evident when you realize that all human cells contain essentially the same DNA sequence. We are learning we do not have to be the audience to this genetic symphony not playing well, but have tools and methods to not only take control of how the symphony plays, but to bring in new dynamic changes of inspiration into the symphony. The influential nature of these alchemical sound patterns stimulates responses within connected to knowing, ancient memory, emotions, and ignite a stimulus of spiritual awakening like a tiny Shaktipat spark. A Shaktipat spark is a profound stimulus of spiritual awakening that can change the life direction of a person, begin a new path, recalibrate awareness, or another step on the path of their awakening process with ancient memory. These special songs and chants and compositions relay a feeling of inner wisdom, and for people who see or sense or experience energy, the special alchemical compositions are not merely a song, but in the energy system realm, hold symbols that awaken, activate, stimulate consciousness in the three systems in the knowing center of the gut, known as the brain in the gut, and the knowing center of the heart, known as the brain of the heart, and the knowing center of the mind, known as the brain of the mind. These centers are activation locations as interfaces with the physical and the non-physical that guide the person on their journey. So how is ancient sacred music a code? Essentially, ancient sacred sound and music as alchemical system of signals or symbols for communication is a musical lineage and language. A code is a series of sometimes secret levels of communication, instructions that express a meaning, and in the case of ancient sacred sound and music, emits a frequency that resonates within the receiver. These sound compositions are calling our souls to awaken and may be delivered in ritual or ceremony that are components of the entire process and purpose, but do ignite a significant feeling awareness within, and they also occur through listening in other ways. Hearing the songs, chants, sound, and music compositions may be considered a momentous occurrence of pre-planned origin, meaning given certain paths a person takes, they are destined to hear this alchemical sacred music because it awakens within. The sounds can separate awareness from ordinary reality as distinctions from the mind of rational thought into positive energy, a good feeling, and direction. This doesn't mean the sounds will cause you to lose your fears or the blind sides you need to work on. It does mean the sacred alchemical sounds will kindle your spirit and lead you, when you're willing, open gates to understanding awareness and shift consciousness. These understandings can include the lineage you hold, the role you play in healing your life's work, and igniting what you are bringing in to manifest in your incarnation, besides bringing inspiration, a feeling of positive energy. Where do these special sounds and music and songs that are alchemical come from? In the greater attunement, there are certain ancient songs and compositions that are accessible, ready to come in, that are available. As we shift into states of receptivity, these sacred songs are part of the fabric of our understanding of the grid or ancient grid of cosmic universalis or multiversalis, and we are reconnecting to these. These ancient sacred songs have been sounded and heard before, and we are accessing their communication. Here's a story about this. I sang the ancient song Owanaway with a group of my sound and energy medicine students, and one of the students, Rose, went to Sedona and stayed in a lodge where in the morning people came to present their offerings for traveling around Sedona to see different sites. One of the presenters was a man from Hopi, and at the end of his presentation, he started singing the Owanaway. Rose sang along with him. When he finished, he stood in front of her and asked her how she knew that song. She told him, and he said that it is an ancient Hopi song, never sung off the reservation. I'm not Hopi and have never studied with the Hopi. However, I received the ancient sacred alchemical song, musical composition to share. So more about this. Most people are aware of the term channeling and what it means. To channel can mean to open to receive content not available otherwise from a highest source, which gives guidance, comfort, insight, advanced information, confirmation, or direction. Channeling can also be connecting to the spirit of someone, a person previously incarnated, to convey information for healing and understanding. So similar to channeling, but slightly different, receiving ancient sacred songs and music connect to the greater grid with a specific intention, which connects to higher receptivity that links the receiver to the ability to hear and receive the message and retain holding the different components and frequencies, and also sacred symbols that resonate. There may be specific purposes, movements, times of year, or other messages that are part of those alchemical sacred songs as well. What are the characteristics of these sacred alchemical sound and music that activate and connect to our sacred memory, into our governing system of epigenetics? One is they take the listener from ordinary consciousness into a receptive state. Two, there's an awakening and openness and receptivity. Three, the listening and hearing the alchemical songs allow or cause the person to surrender to the process of the repetition and patterns and frequencies. Their number four is they activate loosening restrictions, releasing blocks, and or bringing hidden content into consciousness for healing, release, lack of permission, and releasing in general. Number five is they create a healing, protected environment. And number six, there's a sense of spaciousness, of openness and receptivity. Number seven, as the process deepens, breathing changes and activations occur. And number eight, there's a transition from that deepest space to eventually return to ordinary reality. And there's a deeper understanding and experiences and connection to ancient knowing about people, places, and relationships, and about self. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.